Did you know exactly what you wanted to do with your career going into college? I know some people know exactly what they want to do entering college and graduating from college, but that definitely wasn't the case for me. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I became a digital marketer in New York as someone who honestly didn't quite think or foresaw myself becoming a digital marketer, especially specializing in the financial services space. I started out with no real experience in digital or social media marketing. I had graphic design major from Washington University in St. Louis and a master's in art law and business from Christie's education, which is very specific to the art market to work with. When I entered WashU into their art school, I was given an option to choose my major. It was between fine art, architecture, graphic design, sculpture. During my sophomore year, I followed what my colleagues were going toward, which was graphic design at the moment. I didn't quite have a clear roadmap as to where I wanted to take my career when I made that decision. At the time, I didn't really have anyone that I knew was already working as a graphic designer to pull inspiration from or ask around. So I kind of started out with not knowing what the major would be like or what being a graphic designer actually looks like. I spent my college years without a clear end goal, which is something that I'd love to discuss in more depth in my later videos. Because I started out without a clear end goal to becoming a graphic designer, the fact is that my interest in graphic design started to wane gradually over the years throughout my major. At the time, I was convinced that I needed to take an extra step in between and wanted to work in the art related field. So that ended up leading me into pursuing a master's in art law and business from Christie's Education, an institution run by one of the top auction houses in the world, studying everything related to the art market, including art fairs, galleries, auction houses, kind of going really in depth about the logistics that go into running those businesses, what are some of the risks and possible mitigation tactics. What I only realized afterwards, after the master's program, was that there are certain attributes to the art market that didn't particularly appeal to me. Thinking back, I definitely should have done a little more due diligence before I set my foot into going into the art market and deciding to pursue my master's degree. I mean, of course, there are certain attributes that I feel like I wouldn't have known if I hadn't done the program, but I think some things I could have found out if I did more research or reached out to those who already went through the program to get more information. I didn't do enough of a due diligence to be able to know that there are certain attributes like low paycheck, entry hurdles, the importance of connections, and how much money goes in afterwards. Thinking that I'd be working in the art related field, I had made a similar yet slightly different oversight that I had carried over from college into my master's program. So coming out of my master's program, I had a graphic design background from my college and a master's in art law and business, two big degrees that I didn't quite know how to maximize and utilize. But the good news for me was that one, walked away with an eye for good design and the ability to create the design myself and the capability to be able to tell stories about the artwork and the artists behind them. Luckily for me, my master's and my background in graphic design led me to land my first job as a marketing strategist at a specialty insurance company. They had a specific business unit dealing with our title insurance, which was very closely tied with what I had learned from my master's program. The biggest lesson I learned throughout my college and through my master's program is that at the end of the day, it's not really about the title of your major or the title of your master's degree. It's really the skill sets that you come away with. I mean, look at me. I came out with completely different skill sets that are not particularly related to being a digital marketer. It wasn't all about the business of art and law or doing the graphic designing myself, but it was developing the critical skill set, like being able to tell a great story about the artwork and the artist behind it, and developing a great eye for design, being able to dissect information in a visual way that's appealing to the viewers. These are the skill sets that contribute to becoming a digital marketer Sure. In retrospect, I certainly didn't start out thinking that I would become a digital marketer, but I came out with critical skill sets that all acted as great foundations for me in becoming a digital marketer. I basically did not know how I became a digital marketer until I actually became one. Now that I'm sitting here and looking back, I'm actually really glad that I pursued a graphic design major because visual element is such a huge component to social media and digital marketing that having that ability to be able to tell good and bad design and being able to design myself have been a huge plus for me throughout my close to 6 years of digital marketing career. And same thing with my master's program. Even though I entered the master's program without a clear goal in mind, mainly driven by my desire to want to learn more about marketing, art, and design, I came out of the master's program having learned how to tell a good story about the artwork and the artist behind it. Because without a good way to market or tell a story, even if you have a great end product, your work can become worthless sometimes and can easily be brushed away, especially if the people you're talking to aren't particularly interested. I've had a couple college students reach out to me recently asking for career advice. And my biggest advice would be to not be too fixated on your major and thinking that you need to have a profession that's specifically tied to your major. Just like how my background in graphic design, my master's, and my early career days all kind of work together as stepping stones for my digital marketing career. Obviously, I think there could have been better ways for me to have handled my track into becoming a digital marketer more efficiently, but this will be a whole another conversation, another video. What I learned through my journey and up until now is that your major is less relevant, whether that's your ability to think logically, tell a good story, or having a good eye for design, but it's rather the skill sets that you've acquired that's most important.